Stop me if you've heard this before. Famous or well-renowned single-player game studio decides to make a live-action game, and they fail. Well, you've heard that story a bunch of times before, I'm sure. But how about, after failing, they come back and make another live-action game? Haven't heard that one yet, huh? And unfortunately for us, it's now going to be PlatinumGames that's going to be pursuing this second try at a live service game. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really have a problem with live service games. It's only when studios that are really good at making single player games, and particular kinds of single player games, like PlatinumGames, for example, decide to go and pursue the live service game initiative. That rubs me the wrong way, and I'm sure it does for many of you. Maybe some of you are excited. I seriously doubt it, because I seriously doubt there's any of you guys, because if there were, Babylon's Fall wouldn't have failed. It wouldn't have fell. But this comes by way of Tech4Gamers. Headline is PlatinumGames hiring for a new online action game as part of live service focus. Here we go again, man. It's like that meme, I swear to God.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
All right, we're not going to read the whole article, just get to the important bits. PlatinumGames is typically associated with single-player games, but the studio has recently shifted its focus. Following a live service focus, the team is hiring for an online action game. That we have the job page right here. I'll just open that, translate it later. Wait, I already had it open. I'm an idiot. Okay. The job listing we found also suggests that this online game will include open world elements. Oh boy. Now, I'm so confused on why they would go and pursue this direction, especially since, again, Babylon's Fall, which was a major failure, widely publicized failure. It's not good when the biggest news stories of your game is how few people are playing your game, and that's what happened with Babylon's Fall. That's what happened with their live service project. So it's so peculiar that they're gonna go back to this, especially after making Ninja Gaiden 4. How does PlatinumGames afford to make these types of projects simultaneously? It's kind of crazy. Like, it makes sense in 2023, I think, where they made, no, it was 2022, where they made Soul Cresta, Babylon's Fall, and Bayonetta 3. These two games don't make sense as far as money goes. Actually, matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that's the reason, particularly this game, Babylon's Fall, as to why they were on the verge of bankruptcy. Soul Cresta was Hideki Kamiya's like personal pet project that he wanted to make before he left. I'm pretty sure that was his last game before he left PlatinumGames and decided to do his own thing. And now, after Bayonetta 3 and Bayonetta Origins, I don't remember this one, but anywho, what really is important is these two games. This game needs to be successful in order to justify this game's potential failure. And I don't know what Project GG is. In my mind, what I wish we could get from PlatinumGames, and this will never happen, and it doesn't matter if it happened because Kamiya is no longer in the studio, is if we get Scalebound back. I know, crazy, but I really dug what they were trying to do with that game. I love dragons. I love like just your typical sword guy fighting, and I really like that concept of being able to fight enemies with your dragon, like you're a modern day isekai Chad coming in and just tearing shit up with your dragon friend, and you're part dragon too, and he's just like listening to, like, let's just say awesome fun new metal music on his like Beats headphones or some shit. That seems like a game that would totally work for the PS2 era or the PS3 era, but those are eras that I personally look fondly back to, because those are like my most enjoyable times in gaming, and those are the types of games that gamers that play games like this, your Devil May Cry's, your basically your character action games, the type of games that PlatinumGames specialize in, the game that's their bread and butter, your Nier Automatas and stuff, like that doesn't seem to translate well in live service games. And we can check out the, the job description, and over here, somewhere while I look and edit out all the parts that I'm looking for. And there it is. There's skills and desired skills. So very clearly, that's what they want to make now, is an online action game. And what that's going to be is going to be very interesting, because what if they're taking from like their old established IP? What if it's a Transformers game? Well, that's not really their IP. They actually don't own IP. What am I saying? Wonderful 101, but still, like, what's it gonna be? It has to be new IP. It has to be original IP, unless they're borrowing from some other company's IP. But think about it. What would work as a live service action game in the style of like a character action game? Because that's what they're specialized in, right? Like, would Bayonetta work as a live service game? Would Vanquish work as a live service game? What would actually? Vanquish might be the closest one. What am I saying? That could be the closest one, because I don't see Metal Gear Rising work. But also, if there was a new Metal Gear Rising game, why the fuck would anyone who enjoyed that game want it to be a live action game? Like, that's the thing. What? Nah. Let's go back to the article. Let's just finish up that. So, I really want to give the article its due, because it did break the story. As far as I've noticed, everybody's been quoting them. So, according to the desired skills section, okay, we went over that. For the unaware, PlatinumGames tried its, Babylon's Fall, we went over that. But that's the thing. They're making this game. They're making a game that people already want. They're already into. And the game isn't even out. This is the game that, oh my god, why did I do that? Ninja Gaiden 4 is the game that, like, Platinum fans, action game fans of Platinum just want. And this is like, dude, you have a home run here with this. Why are you risking? And live service games, that's the thing. They are risks. They're arguably the biggest risks in gaming right now to make, and it's not, it only works for a handful of studios. It's not a good time to take a risk with that again, and this just goes back to it. How can they afford to make a risk like this, especially after Babylon's Fall that nearly broke their company? And I think it's because of this. Tencent, they have Tencent money now, and as you can see here, it's since 2020 Tencent has invested in PlatinumGames. It's an undisclosed investment. It could be like less than 1%, but it could be as much as like 40%. We don't know. But, and I'm pretty sure PlatinumGames is a private company, so they don't actually have to, disclose that info. But it makes me concerned. Is this one of those things where if PlatinumGames falls flat on its face, like a certain French studio that turned non-live action game into arguably a live action role-playing game when it was actually just a stealth action game? Is that what's going to happen? Are they going to have to fail just hard enough to get bailed out by a Chinese mega conglomerate, an investment engine, an electronic investment engine of the CCP? I don't really care for the politics of it, but I understand that Chinese corporations are more or less arms of its government in some sense. But that just disheartens me, man, as a fan of their games. And I wish we had more games like theirs than we did with FromSoft games, which everyone just seems to clone back and forth every time. At least that's what it feels like to me. And not that I have any ill will or don't like those games. I do. I love those games. Bloodborne's one of my favorite games ever. But so is Devil May Cry. So is Nier Automata. So is like so many great games. And to see them put take a big risk, another possibly company-ending risk, and having already seen them fail before, and then doing this, it's really disheartening. That's how I feel about it. I'm very excited for Ninja Gaiden 4. I'm totally gonna be on that, but I feel like people who've been fans of Platinum since like the Clover days are like, yeah, first time. Yeah, because that company's always been on edge. It's just that they're so aware of what's a home run for them, and yet so balls deep into taking risky moves like this. And it's not like Babylon's Fall was their like first like big risk. It was their biggest risk. But a lot of people can bring up, like, I'm pretty sure one of the Transformers games, one of the Legend of Korra game, let's see, World of Demons. Oh, that's why, mobile game. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I didn't hear any bad things. Star Fox was a game I think wasn't. That's the thing. If their games don't like hit hard, like they're not a 9 or a 10 out of 10, then it's like a 4. That was the thing with them. And sometimes it's just, yeah, I'll just say like and share, subscribe. It'll totally help me out. And tell me what you think down below. Are you a fan of Platinum Games and their games? Are you excited for Ninja Gaiden 4? Are you annoyed by the way I pronounce Ninja Gaiden and not Gaiden? That's just how I was raised since the first one and just kept saying it. I know it's wrong. How do you feel about the live service games? Let me know in the comments down below. All right. Thanks, y'all. Stay savage.